extra one piece? Hey, you're foxy. Been here a couple days just dancing, trying on clothes, you know? It's a sure jack. Get down. Where are you going? Rock on. Groovy. See ya. The look is complete. It's time to go meet the ladies. Jeff Probst.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Friday, January 19th, 2024. This is The Drop. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, Pascal listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo.
Hey-yo. And over yonder, the man making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Click, like, subscribe, thrive. Podcast listeners, do your boys a favor. Leave us a 5-star rating and review if you haven't done so already. On today's drop, we're going to look at the final fan returns for All-Star voting.
Yeah.
I got some Siakam stats, courtesy of our guy John Schumann. We'll do a little top 5. Yeah. Shu coming through with those. And we got some questions to answer when we get in the NBA midseason report. Biggest surprises, disappointments, breakouts, and stuff you're watching in the second half of the season. But we did have one game that we have to touch on from last night in the association, and that was the No Dunks Bowl. It was on TNT. Bulls, Raptors, some new faces, or at least one playing for the Raps, but the Bulls get it done. Vucevic, baby, and DeRozan, they score 24 points apiece to help the Bulls beat the Raps 116-110. Trey Kirby has on all his Bulls gear here today. Even the shoes. Oh, he's gonna.
How do I do this?
There you
yeah,
go.
that's tough.
There we go.
There
Nice.
we go.
Little quad cramp.
Oh, boy.
Little quad ski.
So congratulations to you. Why don't you lead us off here? Your takeaways from Bulls beating Raps.
Vooch, that guy's big. Cannot buy a three-pointer this season. Shooting under 30% from three, but last night had a size advantage, took advantage of it. 12 for 17 on 2-pointers. Vooch went last night, and that was kind of the way the Bulls were rolling. Chicago scored 74 points in the paint, just 50 for the Raptors. It was kind of going both ways. Like, Vooch absolutely cannot guard Scotty Barnes. He's a little bit quicker than Vooch, which you saw quite a bit, I thought, in the fourth quarter, but Thad Young could not guard Vucevic. Jonte Porter could not guard Vucevic. And honestly, Scotty Barnes, when he wasn't blocking his shot above the rim, could not guard Vucevic. I was watching just thinking, man, the Raptors could really use some 6'9" guys.
Yeah. They used to have them all.
Bring them back. But it came down to the clutch. Tie game.
Yeah.
5 minutes left, and the Bulls were just a little bit better in the clutch. They shot 50%. The Raptors shot 37.5% with 3 new guys in their closing lineup. They looked like they were feeling each other out. You know, I think Emmanuel quickly took a 3 with about 2 minutes left. A bit of a chuck, I thought. The Raptors did not make a field goal the last 2 minutes and 21 seconds of this game. They made 1 free throw, a couple of turnovers in the clutch time for Scotty Barnes. At one point, he stepped out of bounds driving baseline. Another time, he was D'd up by Caruso. A little bit harder to score on him than Vucevic. Dribbled it off his foot. Ball went the other way. And then the Bulls, they've been together for a while here, and they kind of had 2 options in clutch time. DeRozan was the main guy, and there were times where I was thinking it should not be DeRozan as the main guy, because Kobe White had an incredible fourth quarter, scoring when the defense was tilted toward DeRozan and just being kind of a release valve for DeRozan. Levine rolled his ankle, so he wasn't out there. But yeah, I thought the Bulls played pretty well down the stretch here.
Yeah, came down to the wire. And that's mainly because of Bruce. Bruce Brown was out there for the Toronto Raptors. His plane touchdown in Toronto 3 hours before game time. He didn't practice with the team, but he was out there and he was making everybody better because that's what he does. He came off the bench, 15 big points, 7 of 10 from the floor in 25 minutes, and he had to guard Vooch a lot of the time in the fourth quarter. The guy's like 6'3". And he was their backup center. They are lacking a center. Yeah. It would have been nice to have Jakob Poeltl out there. It would have been nice not to be playing in a back-to-back. The NBA's got to get rid of these, absolutely. Because it came down to Scotty Barnes, who was the guy in this game. And the game before, an incredible fourth quarter. And in this one, he got there carrying the team. He was phenomenal. 31 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, 3 steals and 3 blocks. And then in the fourth, maybe because it was a back-to-back, but maybe he was just trying to put everything through him. He had a couple key turnovers. Can't step out of bounds. You can't just dribble all the way to the rim and just throw it out and hope everything works out. I feel like Quickly and Barrett just didn't have games in this one. They just needed one supporting guy to Barnes, and it could have been an easy Raptors win in this one. But they are getting used to each other, and that's going to happen. It came down to just somebody supporting Barnes late, and also having a tall guy. And I can't wait to see Jakob Poeltl playing with those three guys, and Barnes, Quickly, and Barrett, plus Bruce Brown, and just for these next 40 games to determine whether or not they're going to keep Bruce Brown, because there was so many fun plays, Bruce to Barrett in this one. But kudos to the Bulls, because Kobe White played incredible on Quickly. It sort of took him out of his game. Quickly had 3 shots inside the arc in this game, because Kobe White was doing a great job guarding him, and Vucevic was using his body down low. And it really just came down to no height and an old stinky back-to-back that they got to get rid of.
So Zach LaVine did leave the court after rolling his ankle there in the early in the third quarter. Did return for like a little bit of a stint, but then he played just over 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. So we'll be keeping your eye on that, because this is a guy that's in a million trade rumors, and they're trying to move off of him possibly. So you see if that has any impact on that. And then Masai Ujiri yesterday, leading into this game, had his press conference addressing the trade and all that, and basically said, we're not done trading. Like, we're making moves here. Like, we are going to be actively looking to shop some guys, in theory, moving up to this deadline, because we still have 3 weeks left. Now, is that Gary Trent Jr.? Is it possibly Poeltl? Is it Bruce Brown himself? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, he was saying that. He said that on record there. So we'll see that.
I know people like to rip the Raps. Why did it take so long for you to trade Pascal Siakam? It is very pleasing to see Masai say, all right, we're doing it. But we're moving on from everybody else.
Well, he explained why it took so long to make those deals. He said there was like a little bit of a hangover, if you want to call it that, from trading DeRozan, like a star player. And then they looked at it like a year ago and thought, I think these guys deserve one more chance here. I'm talking Fred, Siakam. Let's go get Poeltl. We'll use that pick, and maybe we got something here. And he admitted he was wrong, but that was his thinking. It was really refreshing. GM press conference, he was being quite real. Now, people are going to still sit there and roll their eyes and say, well, you botched it, you messed up. But he was like, yeah, maybe I did, but I'm telling you my thinking of what was going on here. And it was a little bit of like what happened with DeRozan. He felt like it was almost like too personal. And that's like the meshing of business and the personal relationships he has and the team has with players. Mm-hmm. No, it was a really, really cool press conference to hear. I thought someone being really sincere up there. Yeah. Unless he's just a master of spin. And the guy can talk. Yeah. He's good. Yeah, but I believed him. Yeah.
He kept it together a little bit too long. But when you look back at those 5 years, the year after the championship, they went to the second round, Game 7 against Boston Celtics. Things look good. So let's see what Siakam can do the next year without him. The next year, they were playing in Tampa Bay. Yeah. Tampa Bay! Home games in Tampa. Could they pick a further city? So they gave him one more chance. 4 or 5 series against Philadelphia 76ers, he broke Joel Embiid's face with his elbow. That was weird. So 3 years, and then the 4th year was last year. That could have been the year. To move him, and it took a little bit too long. And that was the year they tried it. Let's see what Barnes, Siakam can do with Anunoby and Jakob Poeltl. And it obviously didn't work out. So at least they pulled the plug. At least they pulled it, and they didn't pull another Fred to get them to the playoffs here.
Yeah, for sure. Any other games from last night that you want to quickly touch on here before we get into the NBA midseason report?
Let's just go midseason. We got lots to talk about.
Okay, let's do it. So we're halfway through the NBA season. Sort of caught me by surprise, if I'm being honest. I'm like, oh crap, yeah, a lot of these teams have played 41 games. So the question here, TK, get us started. Biggest surprise from the first half? We'll do disappointments too. So you don't need to go like negative surprise if you don't want to. You can save that for disappointment. But biggest positive surprise from the first half of the season?
I think for me, it's how fast the Clippers turned good. They gelled immediately. They lost their first 5 with James Harden, and it looked terrible. Everybody in the podcasting world was dunking on the Clippers and James Harden's plus minus. It looked like they would just enter the ball to him at the elbow, and he would stand there waiting for somebody to cut, waiting for somebody to get open. Nothing was happening. It was so slow. Then, the easiest move in the coaching game, they moved Russell Westbrook to the bench, even though people were saying Harden should go to the bench. A crazy, crazy take. And then instantly, the Clippers became one of the best teams in the league. 23-7 in their next 30 games. That's tied with the Celtics for the best record in the past 30 games. They're 3rd in offense right now, 13th in defense, 5th in net rating. Kawhi Leonard signed a new deal. He's smiling all the time. These guys are having so much fun on the court. Harden seems like the perfect teammate right now. I don't think you would have picked that going there, but he's coaching up all the big guys. You hear Zubats on Paul George's podcast. I love the synergy between production on the court and production of content right there, talking about how much Harden has meant to them, to the fact where Zubats goes out of the lineup and instantly Mason Plumlee comes back from injury and he's getting buckets the exact same way. Harden is a great point guard. He's one of the best point guards in the league right now, and he's setting everybody up here. The Clippers are absolutely cooking, and after the start they had a poor start to the season before they even made the Harden trade.
Yeah.
Then they make the Harden trade. It looks bad, and it looked like a mistake, and now you got to consider them at least a contender in the Western Conference. Everybody's going to have questions about can this team make it to the playoffs intact? Can they perform in the playoffs? But guess what? That's a question mark for everybody. If Nikola Jokic gets hurt, the Nuggets aren't winning a championship.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm up on the Clippers right now. Definitely ready to get Lucy footballed, but Tass is wearing a Charlie Brown shirt today, so I'm feeling confident.
No, it could have gotten bad at the beginning because James Harden, when he was traded, said, I'm not a system player, I am a system. So you'd think everything would be going through him.
Yeah.
It did not. I think the biggest surprise is Kawhi Leonard playing in every game this season. Last fall, we knew Kawhi Leonard would be sitting out back-to-backs, and going into the offseason, the NBA changed the rules. Load management can't happen anymore. Photos of the Clippers everywhere. Kawhi Leonard everywhere. And Kawhi Leonard is no longer managing his load after an offseason where he underwent a surgery on his knee. So that is extremely surprising in a different kind of way. He was doing this with the Spurs where he was just a mechanical, just playing whenever he wanted and playing extremely well. But he's gotten healthier at 32. So it is a little surprising that it's not load management anymore. It's all load Leonard. It's Katry Leonard. It's full load management. Kawhi can play. I don't know which one we go with, but
Katry Leonard is pretty good.
Yeah, good
I
try.
like that.
The fact that Kawhi Leonard, because he's so quiet and maybe because he doesn't do social media, he doesn't talk at all, he kind of takes a backseat. We don't all think, oh man, that guy's one of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah.
But he clearly is. When he was in the playoffs last year for 2 games, he was.
Yeah.
And then that disappeared. So he could be. The fact that he decided to play every single game at back-to-backs and all that, he looks like Spurs Leonard all of a sudden.
He did miss 4 games with, I think it was a hip pointer.
The hip, yeah.
But Paul George has only missed 2 games. My theory is that they're saving their rest games for the end of the season. Play hard through the first half of the season, get a good seed, and then you can rest a little bit more at the end, the way most teams do when they got their seed settled.
Clippers are having a moment. There's no doubt. Even adding on to what you're saying, their hot play here. They're getting the All-Star game. We got Steve Ballmer telling us about all the toilets in the Intuit Dome. They got this new wall of sound. I mean, they are, they're being talked about, which you a lot of the times can't say about the Clippers. Or when you're talking about them, it's like, oh, what's going wrong? Oh, that was a weird trade. Oh, this guy's sitting again. And that's not the case. They are playing at an elite level and are definitely convincing a lot of people out there, once again, ooh, this team could win a championship. If they're all out there and they're all playing like this, absolutely. It's just whether they will.
Hey, man, what's the worst that's ever happened? Having faith in the Clippers. you know?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it should be fine.
What about you, Tass? Biggest surprise from the first half?
Yeah, other than that one, Oklahoma City Thunder have adapted with a big 3. They've got a big 3, a legitimate big 3 with Shea, Chet, and Jalen Williams. J-Dub is awesome. His last 3 games, he's just taking over, but he's so perfect in that role. And Chet looks incredible as a rook here, as a 7-footer, and Shea just looks like a superstar. The fact that they're this young, and they still have an incredible defense. They're nearing top 5 in both offense and defense. They're just lacking in size. Jalen Williams, who I just talked about, he's their go-to scorer. He's literally like 6'5" out there. And Shea's another guard. They need somebody to help out Chet Holmgren. It's clear. They need a big. But even though they're teeny tiny. They're a little too small. Maybe the other Jalen Williams helps out in the size there. But they're so damn good. It's just surprising that this young, that they're in shape here to win the Western Conference in terms of standings going into the offseason. I won't say winning Western Conference, going all the way to the NBA Finals, but they could easily win 2 series. They could. So yeah, that is the most surprising thing. Young superstars making things happen with literally a big 3.
I heard Bill Simmons, talking on his pod about the idea of OKC. They have to go get a backup big or another big to help out Chet Holmgren because, foul trouble, or maybe you get into a playoff series where it's a tough matchup, whatever. He has a couple bad games. You need somebody else that you can rely on. And he doesn't think it's the other Jalen Williams, who's okay, but I think maybe Bill's right. So he's throwing out names like Pirtle, maybe with the Raps. Nick Claxton, I think, was one of the names that came up. Maybe Nick Richards or somebody on the Hornets.
Any of the Knicks.
Yes.
Nick Collison, bring him back.
Many of the Knicks.
I think Nick Collison would actually be great for them because more so than a guy like Nick Claxton, they need a rebounder. So Andre Drummond, honestly, is a guy I would be thinking about.
Sure. It makes some sense. He also, on the same podcast, had a big talking point about the idea of the Warriors trading Steph Curry to the Hornets. Godfather offer. Would you think the Warriors would trade Steph Curry to the Hornets? No. Okay. I didn't think so.
But if they offer LaMelo and 4 first-round picks, they got to have a meeting, right?
Yes. Yes, they have to have a meeting. I would like to piggyback off your Thunder as a surprise. Just having the Wolves and Thunder atop the Western Conference is the biggest surprise to me from the first 41 games. You talked about the Thunder, so I'll move off of them. The Wolves are 30-11 here. And we've hit the midpoint of their schedule. I guess they're 31-11, I should say now. That's on pace for 60 wins. They've never won more than 58. And that was the year they actually went to the Western Conference Finals. Like, we're way back 03-04. We're talking Kevin Garnett years here, where they actually got past the first round. The Wolves are dominant at home. They're dominant against their conference. And it's like something like where they could go and lose the rest of their games this year and still have a better record than like almost half of the other seasons of their existence. It's incredible stat that they could just lose from here on out and still have a really good record overall for them. And we came into the season going, is this going to work? I mean, it didn't look like it was going to work with Gobert and Cat. And we thought, they might have like a really small sort of 20-game sample size here to, like, if they don't figure this out, then maybe they trade in one of those guys. Maybe they hand the keys over to Ant. You move off of Cat. And that hasn't been the issue. They put it to bed right away. And they are just an elite defensive team, which they should be, which we thought they would be when Gobert was there. And then you've got enough offense, especially led by Anthony Edwards and then Karl Anthony Towns, who's gone completely under the radar this season in a good way. He just goes about his business. The numbers are not going to wow you, but he's solid and consistent. And they've surprised me because I thought, I don't know, is this really going to work in today's NBA with those two towers and the rest of the pieces they had around there? And maybe you should just go to Anthony Edwards and just lean into that. No, you can do it all at the same time. At least they have through the first half of the season.
Yeah, the only surprising thing for me watching them is their offense sometimes a little slow and doesn't get through things. They're 19th in offense. Besides Karl and Anthony Edwards, I just want some big Rudy or Mike Conley or Jaden McDaniels games because those guys are averaging pretty low numbers. All three of them, 13, 11, and 10. All three of them respectively. So they need a little help offensively. Obviously, Naz Reid is awesome off the bench. Maybe we just need a little more Nickeil Alexander-Walker in that lineup. But all in all, one of the best defenses. Great dudes. Yeah, so it's incredible.
They have an identity, and that's like we're the best defensive team in the league, and then we believe we have enough scoring in a close game with our perimeter star in Anthony Edwards and our guy inside who can also stretch the floor a little bit in Cat. Seems to be the recipe right now is working.
Yeah.
Whether they can do this in a playoff series win, 2 or 3, whatever, we'll see. But man, Anthony Edwards with another awesome highlight last night too, going off the backboard to himself. That's back-to-back nights where he's had just incredible plays, like the dunk against the Pistons. He's looking like young MJ, the way he's contorting his body in the air, where he took off from. And then last night, with the swashbuckling and slamming call, incredible.
Interesting.
Swashbuckling
And slamming when Anthony Edwards did the pump fake and off the glass.
Was that Grady?
It was Harlan, was it?
Oh, was it Harlan?
Yeah.
But it was
Swashbuckling.
it wasn't necessarily even a dunk. It was close to a dunk.
I mean, it was a bit of a thrunk, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible.
It was incredible.
Where that guy can take off and how high he can stay in the air or how long he can stay in the air. It's incredible. So I got the Wolves, and I think most people would have them on a list of where they are right now.
I think Ant had 3 of the top 10 plays on NBA.com's top 10 plays last night, and I think I heard John Krasinski say on Zach Lowe's podcast that the Timberwolves have been in first place longer this season than they have in the entire history of the rest of their franchise.
Wow.
That's amazing. They've been like in first place prior to the season for like 10 days or something like that. And I don't know what the exact number is now, but I just went and looked at January 1st. They were in first place.
Yeah. So
That's amazing.
incredible. 30-11, just to get that right. I said 31-11, but that's 30-11 at the exact halfway point. So that's a 60-win pace. That's a damn good team.
The halfway point. That's when Anthony Edwards woke up yesterday. He just chilled for the first half. And then he had 26 points in the second half.
Yeah.
He literally wasn't great. He said it afterwards. I was just kind of sleeping. That's what happens in January. The good teams can just say, we're turning it on, and that's what they did.
All right, let's go to biggest disappointment from the first half. Tass, you want to get started on this one? There's a lot to pick from.
Yes. I don't know. I will say, just watching the Team USA in the World Cup this summer, I thought Mikal Bridges was ready to take that ascendance. Last year, he was 26 points per game with the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, he's making his first All-Star game next year, and he looked good with Team USA. He looked phenomenal, but things are just different in Brooklyn. He's dropped 5 points per game. Just doesn't look as comfortable. Things are really strange in terms of the rotation because Ben Simmons was there to start the season, and things have changed. So I think he goes from the number 3 guy with Phoenix. All of a sudden, you're the number 1 guy in Brooklyn. Things look good. All of a sudden, Ben Simmons is carrying the ball up all the time, and I'm just making excuses for him, but because this ain't right. This just ain't right. Disappointing, I don't know. Mikal Bridges is just better. At some point, he's going to make an All-Star game, but this start wasn't good. So we'll start with that. There's like a billion things to pick from in the NBA.
Okay. I mean, the Nets in general, you could also go with.
Yeah.
Like, they started okay and have completely fallen apart, and now it sounds like everybody's available for trade, outside of maybe like a Bridges and possibly like a Cam Johnson. But like we said, Claxton probably could be had. Finney Smith for sure. Dinwiddie.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting someone else that they could probably get.
Without Ben Simmons.
Royce O'Neal, thank you.
Yeah.
Royce.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons was really helping them.
I know. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate he can't play because of his back, and who the heck knows what's going to happen there.
I can't even get off the island. There's no boats coming anymore. I'm just stuck on Ben Simmons Island. Just hanging out, walking around, trying to find the odd coconut, just surviving, really. But nobody's coming, and I can't blame you. I'm not telling you to come.
No.
I'm not even waving a white flag to come save me. I don't even have rocks that say SOS down on the beach.
No.
You shouldn't come. That's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to
At least Wiggins Island is going well.
I'm just hopping between those two islands.
Yeah, also incredibly disappointing.
Yeah, okay. What about you there, TK? Where are you going?
Nets 5-15 in their last 20.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I got 3 disappointments here. Ja Morant played 9 games this season. 25 of them were his fault. Suspended at the beginning of the season, came back, instantly hit a game winner. Yeah. That was awesome. We're like, great to have Ja back. This is going to be so much fun. It'll be interesting to see if the Grizzlies can make a push to the play-in. 9 games later, he's out for the season. That's a disappointment. Not going to see that guy play. I think the Pistons have to be considered a massive disappointment here. They're over-under this preseason, 28.5. It's going to take them 2 seasons to get to 28.5 at this rate. Actually, probably more than that. If I'm doing the math.
Yeah.
So that is a disappointment. People thought they would be pointing the right direction.
Absolutely.
I think at least this season, and they've gone the other way.
They give a fat contract to what was considered a good coach, and maybe still is, in Monty Williams. They have talent. Cade Cunningham, Duran, Jaden Ivey, Thompson.
Yeah, finally trust that guy. Now things have changed with Jaden Ivey playing.
Yes.
They're better.
Yes.
They're close losses at least. But
that longest losing streak in NBA
People like
history.
to mention the Pistons' close losses. It's because the other team doesn't take them serious.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
That's it to me. It's like we got to play the fourth quarter to win it.
Well, yeah. They're close losses.
They are close losses. And my last disappointment, the Lakers are 500.
Yeah.
And LeBron and AD have missed a combined 6 games so far this season. They told us continuity was going to work.
Yeah, I know.
And then they instantly went away from their starting lineup that worked in the playoffs last year. Vanderbilt was hurt. They started with Prince there instead. And then they're like, Austin Reeves, you're not cooking right now. Go to the bench. He's better in the starting lineup. He plays perfectly next to LeBron. They put him back. He looks good as well. But this team has not been able to figure out their offense at all. And the defense isn't that elite level that we've seen before.
The West is incredible when you look at it. When you look all the way down to the Lakers, because the Wolves, Thunder, Nuggets, Clippers at the top, they ain't going anywhere. They're just going to be solid. Followed by the Pelicans and the Mavs in 5 and 6, who have also looked good and are only getting better, frankly. And then 7 through 10, the play-in teams right now are the Kings, not going anywhere. They're too good for that. It is a little disappointing. Suns, Jazz now, and the Lakers. And then the Rockets and Warriors are on the outside looking in right now. So it's going to be a rock fight. It's going to be tough all the way down the stretch because those 2 teams I mentioned, the Rockets and Warriors, they're not going anywhere either. They're going to fight because they want to make the play-in. So it's going to be a 40-game stretch here.
Yeah, you listed all really strong candidates for disappointing teams. The Warriors need to be in the mix too. This is almost just sad how this is going, right? You already brought up Wiggins, like what the guy forgot how to play basketball, but just like how old they look at times. There was the whole Draymond Green. This is just like it's just like a weird possible ending to really their dynasty run if this is the end. Now, we thought that a couple years ago and they sort of rebounded and won a championship. I don't think that's going to be the case this year or really moving forward unless some big changes happen, because they just look their age, and Kerr has struggled to find any sort of rotation that makes sense in terms of blending of the young guys with the old guys. Can you even do it? And they just look at the end of their rope. Maybe you saw, like, maybe that's why Myers got out of there. He's like, this is going to be crumbling here soon.
Yeah.
And who will be the next, will it be Kerr or will it be someone else? But I have them on the list. And then the Hawks, too. I mean, just disappointing. Yeah. I talked myself into the Hawks. I thought Quinn Snyder having a camp with DeJounte and Trey and some pieces there, and maybe some of those young guys. Luckily, Jalen Johnson's looked great, and maybe as a building block. But they're just so pathetic.
Oh. Yeah. There. I thought you said camp like they went camping, but you meant training camp.
Yeah, training camp.
Yeah, it's surprising.
They should probably go camping.
Yeah, for sure. They should.
Even Hawks wins, you're disappointed somehow. It's like they're up 35 on the Spurs and give it all back, and then hang on to win. It's like,
I think our buddy Brett Legree called them feel bad wins.
Yeah, right.
We did it, but did we?
That's exactly right. Okay.
Just one quick other one. I am a little disappointed in Zion Williamson. I know the numbers are good, 22 points per game, but it doesn't look like Zion Williamson, who took over games, took over seasons, who looked like the next one whenever he was healthy, I should say, because he was getting injured. And that broke everything down, and you think, well, this guy's 26, 60% from the field anytime he wants. But the numbers have dropped. So, yeah, he's good. But he's not like the next Hall of Famer right then and there, every possession, and basically a guy you've never seen before, like we see with Wembanyama this year. I've never seen that before. Zion was similar in that I've never seen a 6'5", essentially, 6'6" guy that could get to the rim anytime he wants. So it's a little different going from what he was to what he is. I maybe he's saving it. I don't know, for the second half here, but the Pelicans are good, and he's healthy, which is a good thing.
It's almost better that he doesn't have to be like superstar Zion when everybody else, like Ingram and McCollum and all the shooters and Trey Murphy and Hawkins, a rookie, like it's working. But you're right, his numbers have dipped, and he's rarely even talked about, I feel like, in NBA circles, right? He's really had a quiet year. Let's go to favorite breakout player. TK, you go first. You got one, you got multiple names. What do you got?
I've got some multiple names here. I actually think Tyrese Halliburton is the breakout player of the season with the way the in-season tournament went. He's been hurt a little bit. Now hasn't been on the court for a while after slipping, but we have talked a lot about the Pacers recently, so I'm going elsewhere. Paolo Banchero, for me, is the breakout player. He's become one of my favorite guys to watch from a league pass perspective, and the Magic are not the most watchable team. It's mostly Paolo. They're gone 3-4 without Franz Wagner. Not great. It'd be helpful to get him back, but Paolo, in his second year here, has gone from 20 to 23 points, 3.5 assists to 5 assists. He raised his shooting percentage from the field. He raised his shooting percentage from 3. His usage is a little bit up here, and he's maintaining his efficiency. A lot of guys hit a slump in their second season, and that has not been the case for Paolo, even though the Magic do not have a perfect offensive team built around him. He gives enough defensively that they can have a really good defense, but then he's got a lot on his shoulders on the offensive end, and I really think he's carrying the load and just looking like, the guy was the number 1 pick. He won the Rookie of the Year. Obviously, he's a future All-Star, but I think he could get to top 10 status in the league, the way he gets to the rim when he actually puts his head down and has a tiny modicum of space there.
Sure.
Who are you going with? Because I literally will mention every single guy, so feel free to grab some.
Trey's right. We've talked about him a lot this season. Halliburton is the pick in turning the Pacers in basically to a modern-day version of the 7 seconds or less sort of Suns, where he is like that Nash-like guy. It sucks he's not playing right now, hopefully back for the All-Star game, but league-leading 12.5 assists, still gets his, 24 points per game. When you round up, 50 from the field, 40 from 3, 87 from the line, so great efficiency. And he made the NBA Cup as well. He did. He was that was the story. I know the Lakers go on to win it, but we had him averaging 27 and 13 in the tournament, Halliburton. He's doing the Dame time celebration versus Dame, and he's just getting a team in the Indiana Pacers who don't have a lot of nationally televised games.
Yeah.
More of those games, more eyeballs on him. Who is this guy? Now he's the leading vote getter for the guards in the Eastern Conference. That's an incredible, glow up. So I'll go with him. And he's playing so well that the team now is like, well, we got to go trade for Pascal Siakam. Jesus, we got something special here. So they make that move. And they have a really good record, the Pacers do, against the elite teams in the East. When you're looking at Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, Cleveland, Miami, New York, they have a good record against those teams. So they're going to be a tough out. I'll pick another name, though. Tyrese Maxey.
Oh, yeah.
Has sort of leveled up as a player in this league. I think there was a lot of expectations he might, because he played really well in postseason games for the Sixers, but averaging 26 points, 4 boards, 7 assists, and he's just become the second star alongside Embiid. And many thought, when they traded Harden, I know he had his flaws, but they trade Harden, they don't get a star back, and everyone's like, I don't know about this. I don't know about Philly's title chances. Well, Maxey obviously took over and stepped into that Harden role and does it a little differently, and it's working. So just him going to what should be an all-star level here early in his career, those numbers are amazing. He takes over games at times, and it's just a great pairing with him and Embiid. So that's my other pick for Breakout.
Everybody named Tyrese is awesome this season.
2 Tyreses.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I would say with Maxey, you could look at Morey and say you should have traded Harden quicker and just give Maxey the keys because he's just that damn good. And it's pleasing to watch. He, unlike Harden, he leads the league in minutes per played. He is just tough every single possession. So he's just awesome. He's just so fun to watch because he's just so damn fast and he's an executor. And
that trade between the Raps and Knicks, where everybody's like, well, that looks like a win-win trade. RJ quickly to Raps, OG to the Knicks. Wow, perfect fit. I mean, this one is looking like a win-win trade right now, too, with Harden going to the Clippers.
Yeah.
And then the pieces coming back, like Batum's played well for them. Morris at times even, they have picks. And then they get to really lean into Maxey as the lead ball handler. So that's sort of right now, it's a win-win as well, which is a little wild.
Yeah, they went from Harden being the lead guard to we're watching with the Clippers where he's not the lead guard, and that's good. That works a lot better. Maxey is taking over. I will mention Jalen Brunson as well because I just love watching the dude. He's tiny for his size at 6'1", 6'2", but he's just so powerful. I love watching how he's able to just create space with his shoulders. When he signed 2 seasons ago from Dallas, people wondered, is he overpaid? I don't know this guy. I think it was just sort of, he was kind of under the radar because Jalen Brunson does his thing, but he was never a superstar, even though he was awesome without Luka Doncic in that playoffs where he's dropping 40 against the Utah Jazz. And now, at 26 per game and shooting 42% from 3, he's just so efficient and so physical, and people were worried about the Knicks. The Knicks fans were worried as he went out injured for the last couple of games, and they had a 16-point fourth quarter against the Magic. They didn't look good. Oh, yeah, he comes back and has an incredible game last night against the Wizards with 20 in the fourth, where he was just awesome. And he even talked to Jordan Poole after the game. He was giving Jordan Poole a big slap on the back. Hey, Jordan. And Poole was looking elsewhere, so he was busy. But it's like, come over here. And he said, keep going, Jordan. He's in his corner for some reason. I don't know why. Jordan Poole has been bad this season. I know when I said Andrew Wiggins is the worst contract in the NBA, people said, no, it's Jordan Poole. Nope, it's Jordan
a lot
Poole.
of people said Ben Simmons, too.
Ben Simmons, yeah. Ben Simmons is at least off the books after next season. Both these guys, Poole and Wiggins, signed 4-year deals.
Yeah.
Similar money. I still think it's Wiggins. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's personal or what's going on, but he's way older than Poole. At least Poole's playing minutes, and he's trying, and he doesn't look as bad. We know Andrew Wiggins is way better. He's having his worst season since his rookie season, by far. By far. He is literally having the worst season of his career. He's only 28, but something strange going on. At least Poole might get better. Jalen Brunson thinks so. So everybody else should too.
Anyone else? Breakout performances? Players?
No, I got I got the Tyreses. I'm done.
Okay.
I checked to make sure there wasn't a third Tyrese in the league. Tyrese Martin played in 2023.
Oh, wow.
Tyrese Martin. Don't know him.
He might have been a Hawk. I didn't go deep enough to make sure.
He was just a baby boy.
Just a baby boy.
All right, final question. Most intriguing second half storyline. You could have started here.
I've talked about the Cavs, but I'm going to do it one more time. They're 11-3 since Darius Garland went down. And then Mobley went down. 2 of their 4 players
That's
out.
crazy.
Yeah, they are. They went from 9th in the Eastern Conference standings to 4th. That's where they sit now. And they should be stronger when those other 2 come back. But I am curious what their offense is going to look like, because Donovan Mitchell literally has put everything on his shoulders. And then the subs in, like Dean Wade, more Max Strus, more Georges Niang, they're all on the perimeter making things happen. Share it, shoot it. That's what should be happening. That's what JB Bickerstaff wants. When Garland gets back in there, his jaw gets all better. He has had the wiring removed from his jaw, so he must feel better. But he lost a lot of weight because he was on a liquid diet.
Ugh.
That sucks. But I also just wonder on the court, is Garland going to be handling the ball a lot? Is Mobley going to be handling the ball a lot? Because I would just wonder how the offense is going to fit together, and will there still be three-point shooters out there? Because that's what they're doing with Mitchell. It's all through Mitchell, but now Garland's going to handle it. Mobley will be back, who doesn't shoot threes, so it will be different. But this should look like the Rubio, the everybody Cavs from 2 years ago when they were awesome. Not the Cavs that went into the playoffs and looked stinky against the Knicks, where they didn't have an offense. This is maybe a blessing in disguise, where they just have to move the ball, because the Knicks and Tibbs just shut it down. They just literally just get out there against the guards. They can't pass. Yep. So that changed everything. But this team looks good.
They've had a really soft part of their schedule that they're taking advantage of. The Cavs as well. Like when you said that 11-3 run, despite missing some of their guys, like there's not a lot of good teams they've beaten in all honesty. Though they went, they had to jump on a plane and go play in Paris, France, where they got the victory. But it's like, it's like wins against the Wizards and the Spurs and the Nets, and Bulls have played a lot better. So they got 2 against them. They crushed the Bucks the other night. There was no Giannis. So look, you gotta win these games to obviously climb the rankings, and they have. And it is amazing without those 2 sort of star guys that they're doing this and looking. The offense is elite in these games against these crap teams. Like they're putting up some big numbers. Beat 135 against the Bucks, 140 there against the Zards, 135 against the Rockets in an overtime victory. So yeah, they're surprising.
They're chucking threes like crazy.
Yeah,
they took 57 against the Bulls, and that's going to be the interesting thing when Mobley comes back and Garland comes back. Garland will shoot threes. He pounds the ball a little bit, I think, so it's going to have to be on him to just be a quick release kind of guy. And then how do they fit in Mobley playing 2 bigs at the same time? Yeah. I don't know, because having 3 shooters, 1 offensive rebounder, and Donovan Mitchell out there has been working. That was kind of what the Cavs tried to do over the offseason. They're like, we need more shooting. Now they've got as much shooting as they can possibly put on the floor, and it's working. So it's going to be on Garland and Mobley to figure out how to fit in once they get back. And I really hope things are okay with Garland when he gets back, because I heard if you drink an Ensure for breakfast and an Ensure for dessert, that alone can drive a sane man berserk.
I was wondering where you were going at first with that.
Dessert. That's a nice Kanye, right?
Yeah. Through the wire, baby.
Wow, what a
Nice,
reference.
right.
What do you have for most intriguing second half storyline?
You guys touched on it. Is it Jover for the Warriors? That's what I'm watching here, because the young guys are playing okay. Like, Kuminga's been okay. Moody has not been able to always establish himself in the rotation, but I feel like every time he plays, he looks solid. Pajemski seems like a find. Trace Jackson-Davis seems like a find. But Wiggins obviously is not playing well this season. Draymond has been out of the lineup quite a bit. Klay Thompson has turned the corner a little bit. He's shooting the ball way better, but he's giving it back a little bit defensively. To the point where you look at that 2022 title and you're like, was that a fluke? Right?
Yeah, it's wild.
Best Wiggins we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Best Poole we've ever seen. And Curry went to an absolute stratosphere level. I mean, like, he played his best finals that we've ever seen him play. He was on fire, taking over there. But they've had basically one bad season when Steph Curry broke his hand, and then one mid-season during their run from 2013 to 2023. But right now, 13th on offense and 25th on defense. I don't know how they get their defense back. Obviously, Draymond has missed a lot of time, and he helps. But Looney looks a lot slower. He's not giving quite the resistance that he used to. He's not as good of a rebounder as he was. And Draymond just can't make up for everybody else. Yeah. If Kuminga's just a little flighty defensively, Wiggins is just not giving the effort every time. So Wiggins was such a big part of their championship run that if he's not playing at that level, the Warriors just look kind of beat right now. And like you're saying, just things keep happening with this team to where you're like, is Steve Kerr going to be the next guy to leave? Yeah. Bob Myers just left. Is Kerr next? I don't know. They've had the hardest schedule in the league up to this point, according to Basketball Reference. It gets a little easier in the second half, but it's going to have to be their core group that improves and gets better going forward.
It's fun. It's a fun idea looking at Poole and Wiggins and wondering, did it all just come together that one moment for those two guys, because they haven't been able to turn it on. But I think Poole can get there. I think Poole can get a lot better. Bring back Poole. Why the heck not?
That would be the biggest shocker at trade deadline. Wiggins for Poole. Does it work in the trade machine? Probably.
But it is interesting in the Western Conference to look at and ponder who the heck is going to miss the playoffs. Like I mentioned, those teams. Okay, the bottom four: Kings, Suns, Jazz, Lakers, then the Rockets, Warriors outside. Could the Suns, Lakers, or Warriors? Those are the teams with Hall of Famers on them that should be making the playoffs, but one of them could easily miss the postseason.
Well, that goes nicely into my most intriguing second half storyline. I wrote down, what surprise team makes a conference finals run? Because if you look back over the last couple of years, there's always like one we weren't really ready for to go to a conference finals at least. Last year we had 2 play-in teams make the Final Four in the Lakers and the Heat. Heat obviously going to the finals. Year before that, I would say the surprise team was probably the 53-win Mavericks, knocking off the West-leading Suns in that iconic Game 7 for them. Not for Suns fans, but that was a bit of a surprise. Year before that, 2020-21, Trae Young and the Hawks going to a conference finals and having a decent matchup even against the Bucks. Took 2 games off them. They would go on to win the title. Milwaukee did. And then the year prior to that, down in the bubble, so it was really weird. You had the 5th seeded Heat knocking off the Pacers, the Bucks, and the Celtics before falling short in the finals. So point is, it could be one of those teams you listed, like a Suns, I guess maybe a Warriors, though I'm not convinced. Lakers, of course. Hell, is it another team in the East that's a little lower? Is it the Pacers suddenly with Siakam or something like that? Yeah. We'll see. There'll be one of these teams that probably shocks us all. And then the other part, intriguing second half storyline in the next couple weeks here is, do any of these targeted guys in trade rumors, are they a difference maker? And where do they go? DeJounte Murray, Zach LaVine, do they turn a team's season around? Is it nothing? So of course we'll be watching that. Something to watch there in the second half. We got to take a break, though. When we come back, a quick look at the All-Star voting returns. We got some stats and rapid fire. Don't go anywhere.
When I say cha, you say ching. Cha, ching. Cha, ching. All my Shopify heads know that's the sound of another sale. Woo. Whether you're selling a little or selling a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, no matter how you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 trillion orders stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And you can sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the United States, and Shopify's the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, not to mention millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way, because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/nodunks, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/nodunks now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. That's shopify.com/nodunks.
All right, it's Friday, it's the Drop Podcast, and it's you hitting the like button and subscribing to No Dunks on YouTube. We got some all-star voting returns, the final fan returns, guys, until we find out next week the starters. Here's a look at the West. Nothing really changing. Your front court is LeBron, Jokic, and Durant, 1, 2, 3. And then the guards right now are Luka, and Steph is, doing a little stiff arm there on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's coming up in third with a lot of votes. 2+ million votes there. Biggest surprise from the West final fan returns. What do you got, TK?
I don't think there's any surprises.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say it, but De'Aaron Fox jumped Ja Morant. That's not a surprise.
Right.
John Moran is out for the season. Austin Reeves jumped Klay Thompson. I don't think that's a surprise. Those are the only changes in the Western Conference. So I think we're kind of set for at least our top 5 in fan voting, though we'll see if Shea can finally close the gap. We'll see.
Yeah, close the gap, and then let's not forget, 25% from the player vote, 25% from the media, and that's the question here is it going to be, alongside Luka as a starter in the West at the guard position, is it going to be Steph, or is it going to be Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, depending on how the rest of that vote goes? Assuming that Shea can't catch here, Steph, in the fan vote. What do you think? Who'd you be voting for?
I think Steph will get it. I do think he will. Just when it comes down to the votes.
When you get into the weighted
when you weigh
balancing of it all?
When you weigh it. But obviously Shea is deserving. There's no doubt he's deserving. Yeah. But I just don't know if... Maybe players will. Well,
our guy... Ghostface Ziller, he broke it all down. This idea of can Shea actually start alongside Luka again? Because Luka, most of us think is gonna, he'll probably get the player vote. He's gonna get a media vote. He's gonna have enough. He's starting because he's number 1 there in the fan vote as well. But this idea where we could have a tie when you look at the weighted versions of it all between Shea and Curry, and what happens in a tie? We go to the fan vote. So Curry, in theory, then would start. But, Shea getting number 1 in either the media or the player vote, which is possible, or someone else passing Steph for number 3 in either the player or the media vote, could obviously get SGA ahead of him, it's possible. And then Ziller points out, Anthony Edwards, where does he fit into this conversation with some of the players and media? And even Kyrie Irving, who players absolutely adore, could he sneak up even higher? So... we'll see here. I do think in the end, I actually think SGA is going to vote a little bit better and actually get the starting nod. I think the media might have him. They might have him 1 over Luka, which would help his case. Right?
They might.
Yeah.
They might. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that Shea deserves to start for the way he's played, but Steph Curry is a legend.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And that's what's happening with the forward spots in the West as well. LeBron is number 1. Fans get to see who they want. But that's obviously changed the last few years because they almost got Zaza Pachulia in the game, and everybody started in the NBA front office wondering, we got to change this. We got to change this. So they changed it to 50% only for the fans. Oh, your fans, you only get 50%. All right, you want them, but you only get 50%. And so that's why LeBron at first and AD at 4th, way over Kawhi. It's not right. It's not right. Kawhi should have more votes than the 5th spot behind those two. Mm-hmm. His record is way better than the Lakers' record. So, why are 2 guys going to potentially get more? Anyways, the coaches will get Kawhi in there, who's averaging 24 points, 52 from the field, 44 from 3. The guy's on fire, but I guess fans matter.
I think when we do weigh the player and media vote for the front court guys in the West, I think those will be ultimately the 3 guys, Jokic, LeBron, and Durant. Those will be our starters, I should say. We'll find out next week. To the East, the returns, the final fan returns. Throw it up there, JD. Front court, Giannis, Embiid, Tatum. A whole lot of votes for those 3, so they don't have to worry about Jimmy Butler catching them. And the guards is Tyrese Halliburton, as we talked about earlier, with a whole lot of votes. And then Trae Young holding on to second, just over Damian Lillard, and then Donovan Mitchell and Tyrese Maxey and Brunson, all over 1 million votes. Any surprises here from this list?
Paolo Banchero went over Julius Randle. That's the only change in the Eastern Conference, from what I could tell. They play similar. Bully ball.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I didn't really thought about
more
that.
aesthetically pleasing from Paolo, I would argue.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't think anything is surprising. Surprising that we don't get 4 iterations of these votes. I think we did last year, right?
Really?
Yeah, not that I want them.
Well, they probably tell us the final voting total next week, right?
Yeah.
Do they?
So that would be the 4th.
I guess when they announce them.
Yeah. Yeah, because you get the whole thing where Ernie shows us the entire breakdown of the fans, the players, the media, and all the points that are, structured to each one of those columns. So,
I will say that when I looked at them, I said, voters, well done. This is pretty good. I do think
Trae Young's second is insane.
Trae should be holding off Damian. Damian Lillard has not had an incredible season.
No, I didn't say Damian Lillard. I think there's other guys that are probably more worthy of starting, be it Maxey or Brunson.
Maxey can be
or
there.
Mitchell.
Oh, Donovan Mitchell's the guy.
Yeah. All three of those guys should be over the two guys ahead of them in Trae Young and Damian Lillard, in my opinion.
Trae's a damn good player.
Yeah, but he's got a shit record.
He does have the old shit record. Yes.
So you would pick Donovan Mitchell if I asked you Trae Young, Damian Lillard, or other to start alongside Tyrese Halliburton. You're picking Mitchell.
Yeah, he's been carrying the team with Garland and Mobley out. He scores more than Trae and Damian Lillard. Better rebounder. Trae's leading in assists. Better three-point shooter. Or Trae, I guess, is leading in three-point shooting right now. Mitchell's a better defender, and he leads in like every advanced category. I think he's really put on a starting push here, but I'd be curious to see how often like the votes actually change after the second returns. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like you're pretty much locked in. So I don't think Mitchell will probably get there, though. Maybe like the coach votes and stuff factors in, because I can't imagine Trae Young gets a lot of coach votes or really media votes. I think Lillard and Mitchell would probably take him in both of those categories. So we shall see. The weighting will be interesting for second guard in the Eastern Conference.
I think so. Yeah, the player vote, they don't usually vote for Trae Young from what I can remember as well. I think he was quite low on that last year.
Last year was bad.
Yeah.
And as far as the fans voting go, Trae did jump Damian from the first to second return.
Right.
So he's doing all right. You know, if he had Jared Allen sitting beside him playing center, the team would be way better defensively because their offense is very, very good. But anyway, I'm just going to go to bat for Trae Young there for a sec. He's good. Guards are good. They're all going to get there.
A lot of good guards, no doubt. All right, let's pivot to this. Pascal Siakam obviously traded this week to the Pacers. We did felt like 3 separate podcasts about it, debating how it changes Indy's chances to compete in the East and the overall fit, him playing alongside Halliburton, the draft picks going back to the Raps, what's next for both teams. Like, we did a lot on this. Go check out those podcasts. But our guy at NBA.com, John Schumann, he came up with a different angle yesterday. Just some numbers to know about the 29-year-old two-time All-Star in Siakam. I loved it, so I thought, hey, I'm going to pull some of my favorite Siakam stats here from Shu, and we're doing a quick top five.
Top five.
Yeah, again, all the credit to our guy Shu. I don't know if he's in the stream team here today, but shout out to Schumann. First stat regarding Siakam, 24.8% usage rate. This year, that's his lowest of the last 5 years. I just think that's fascinating. When you put it into perspective, we're talking guys like Scoot Henderson, Colin Sexton, and Terry Rozier. They have higher usage rate percentages than Siakam this year. Now, again, the ball was handed over to Barnes a lot more. He's more of at times like a facilitator. And I'd forgotten just how much of a workhorse Siakam was there in the years following Kawhi leaving and when he was the guy, because it's down to a low mark from the last 5 years. And that's probably a good thing, playing alongside Halliburton and in the Pacer system. I think that's not going to be an issue at all. It's not going to be this thing like he's like, I'm not getting my touches. Where are my touches? It's not coming through me. It won't be a problem at all, I don't believe. So just shocked me a little bit that it's that low, right?
Yeah, they're moving on. This is definitely the year for Barnes.
Right.
And they're obviously pushing. And that is part of the reason I'm sure Paskey, even though he was offered an extension, said, nah, that ain't enough.
Right.
And probably the usage rate, as Schumann noted, ain't enough. Thanks, Shu.
Well, the next number.
Well, hold on a second. I actually think it's good that his usage rate is lower. And
100%.
I think if I'm the Pacers, I want to keep it at about 25. He's a guy that scores very well without having to monopolize the ball.
Yep.
You could run into problems with Toronto, him getting into his ISO bag and just taking up possessions, but he's got the best true shooting percentage of his career since he became an all-star, basically, with the lowest usage rate. It all adds up. He's taking better, good shots, and he's going to get a steady diet of them in Indiana.
Great tease for the fourth stat there, TK. 60% true shooting percentage. He's got lower usage, higher efficiency. Siakam's true shooting percentage of 60%, highest mark over the last 5 seasons. He's shooting nearly 58.5%, let's call it that, on 2-point shots. And that is well up to what he had done over the previous 4 seasons, where it was more around 51%. So he is playing really well and shooting really efficiently, despite the usage percentage going down. And again, I think that's just such a great sign for the Pacers. 60%. That's no joke there. That's a really good true shooting percentage. Next one, number 3 on the list, 253 total isolations. Shu getting into the second spectrum, tracking there. He ranks, Siakam does, 15th in the league with 253 total isolations this season. Though his isolations per 100 possessions, they're quite down compared to last season and then career high from a couple years ago. But the Raptors, they score in his isolations, or did. He was like actually the 10th ranked player among 59 guys with at least 100 such isolations. So I thought that's interesting because you sometimes think, it's like, oh, you don't want that possession, maybe a Siakam ISO. But the numbers say he's damn good. And interesting wrinkle, Halliburton ranks 4th in the league when you get into points per possession in isolation. So now they got two of the top 10 currently when you're looking at least a decent number of isolations in Hallie and Siakam paired together.
Yeah, as much as people are going to miss Pascal Siakam, it's obvious that him as a number 1 option on the offense, going through him for each and every time, produced a mediocre offense. Literally middle of the road, middle of the standings, and middle of offensive rating. That's just the way it was.
Right.
So obviously they're
But
changing.
if he's your second or third guy, then you're feeling a lot better.
He might be winning a ship.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Second stat from Shu, Siakam, 27 for 103 on above the break threes. That's not good.
It's a low number.
He's very good from the corners. Shoots 45%. About 19 for 42, I think Shu had it down as. But yeah, 27 for 103. That's 26% above the break threes. Overall, 31.7% from deep. Ranks 160th among 187 players with at least 100 attempts. So low, really low. But what's weird is over the last, 10 games, he was sort of on fire from deep. He had a couple stretches there where he couldn't miss. So that's going to be important. I mean, you got a lot of shooters on Indiana you got Buddy, you got Even Turner a little bit, you got Neesmith. Like, those guys are high volume, Halliburton, high volume 3-point shooters. So Siakam won't really have to be like doing that. But in today's game, you need all 5 guys to be able to shoot at least some confidence out there, or at least helps. So something to watch, how well he shoots the 3 ball.
It's obvious when they started getting rid of the wings that they have too many of. Everybody got hot. Oh, yeah, I get to shoot more. We don't have OG and Barnes and Pascal anymore. They started getting better. Pascal got way better when he started to feel like, oh, yeah, I'm going to shoot. He looked like a different guy. That's obvious.
Or maybe when he was realizing he was going to get traded.
Little audition mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say stick to the corners.
Yeah.
They don't need him to ever take it above the break 3.
Right.
With Halliburton, shoots it well. Obviously, Hield shoots it well. Miles Turner, I feel like you don't see him in the corner all that often. He'll trail and hit a 3. They got guys who can do it from the far ones. Stick to the shorties, buddy.
Yeah. And then final stat here, Siakam averaged 26 and 3 over his last 5 seasons. And this one caught me by surprise. Shu says Siakam is one of only 4 players. Giannis, Luka, and Tatum are the others who averaged at least 20 points, 6 boards, and 3 assists in each of the last 5 seasons. That was like, what? A little shocking. But he's on part of a very, unique list there, and some good numbers from Siakam. So we'll see how he does in Indiana. Thanks to Shu. Love his work. He had a bunch of more stats if you want to go crazy over there. So go to NBA.com.
I thought he was going with the top 5 moments from his Raptors days.
No,
I thought he was a more moments
Shu's a
man.
numbers man.
You got a top 5 moments from his Raptors?
What's your favorite?
I do. Here are my top 5.
Okay.
At number 5, scoring 32 points in the game 1 of an NBA Finals. That's good. Top 5 Pascal Siakam moments are phenomenal. At number 4, when he started that social media Yak and Skills video, that was hot. That was hot. Him and Jakob Pertl took over social media. They were making great videos together. At number 3, when he broke Joel Embiid's face in 2021. It wasn't good, but it was interesting because we went from him evolving. Look at him go in the playoffs. Then there was that really weird year. And then every Toronto fan in 21 thought that they were going to beat the Philadelphia 76ers. They did not. Even though they broke Joel Embiid's face, they still couldn't beat them. At number 2,
how about the Siakam Swirl McFlurry at McDonald's?
Absolutely.
Still available.
Yes, still available, yes.
McDonald's named Siakam Swirl Flurry after him. Smarties are in it.
Wow.
In Canada, Smarties are chocolate, baby. They're so good.
It's true.
They're good. Yeah.
They're chocolate, baby.
Siakam Swirl McFlurry. It's good. I always wondered what's in there. I mean, it's chocolate. Not bad. And number 1, Pascal Siakam scored the final basket of the 2019 NBA Finals. He went right by Draymond Green and scored at the rim when they were trying to get back into it. That was him.
It was tight.
Like 20 seconds left. He was the guy who scored. Then they went to the free throws and all this weird stuff where they were
The
forcing.
game was over, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but he scored that final bucket. He drove past Draymond Green. So that's the number 1, I think.
Love
that
it.
we
It's
don't
a great
remember.
top 5.
Good list. Wow, we just hit you with a bonus top 5 off the top of his dome, this guy. Incredible. Did you read yet his Players Tribune? Siakam just released it this morning or maybe late last night.
I did not.
Toronto forever. Oh, you're going to love it, man. You're absolutely going to love it.
Did he mention the Starty?
He didn't.
What did we
Damn.
get? Which award did we give him?
We gave him Most Improved Player. The year he won Most Improved Player.
Yeah.
He actually sent in a speech. You can see him holding it.
Yeah.
And then, like, 2 years later, they filmed a video of him, like, showing his trophy case in his house, and he had his Starty in there.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It's just a tiny little trophy.
Wrap that up.
Yeah.
Box it up, please.
I hope it is traveling with him to Indiana. I had forgotten that after he won Most Improved, there was a good 6 weeks the next season where I was saying he should win Most Improved back to back, and it was like actually not that far fetched because his numbers had jumped that much. He sort of trailed off there as that season went on. But yeah, go check out the Players Tribune, Toronto Forever Siakam article. It is now live. Okay, we got to wrap up this drop, and before we go, we got some rapid fire fun. JD, you got the questions. We got the answers.
Yeah, I accidentally just hit the fart sound.
Okay.
It's right next to rapid fire.
Hold on. I didn't even know we had a fart sound.
Yeah, I put it there like almost a year ago.
Why have we never heard it?
Well, because it's never come up.
Just waiting.
Well, I would argue you should just be dropping it whenever.
Yeah, I should probably just.
What was really funny is that I checked a message of mine right when you clicked the fart.
Yeah.
And it was about hot fudge also being in that Siakam swirl.
Oh, wow.
So that made me laugh. Hot fudge and a fart. Thanks. Thanks
Great.
for that.
Okay, guys, first
Yeah.
rapid fire question.
Yeah.
Wearing a jaunty hat and a safety vest this week, Steve Ballmer shared that his dystopian vision for the Intuit Dome includes a 51-row section called The Wall. Only Clippers sickos will be allowed on the wall. You will be monitored closely on the wall. There's a strict dress code on the wall, and if you violate it, you will be shunned, presumably. But if you stand and cheer loudly, you will be rewarded handsomely with things like discounts and whatnot. Guys, tell us about a time you realized you were being watched and judged. Skeets.
JD, I'm struggling to find a day or time when I'm not being watched or judged. We do a daily podcast live on the internet. So it's every day, every single day. We're being watched and judged. We're being watched and judged right now that a light went out, and then it just came back. So yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah.
It's every single day.
Yeah. True. I guess that's true for all of us, really.
Well, yeah.
Watched and judged. Well, recently, every time dinner is done, I bring the garbage can over to the dinner table, and I start basically cleaning plates at the dinner table. I take a paper towel, and I thrust it into every plate and every bowl, and I dispose of everything I need to dispose of, and I basically clean the plates before they have to get into the dishwasher at the table.
Wow.
So
That's fascinating. Yeah, you're bringing the garbage can to the table, not the silverware and plates to the garbage can.
yes, exactly. And
Cans at Table restaurant. Very cool.
yeah, and I don't want to get everything wet in the sink. Why wouldn't you? But I just don't. I just rather just clean them up.
Hold on. You
It's
don't
just-
want to get anything wet in the sink?
Well, I'm
Did
just saying
say?
you don't need to if you pre-clean them at
If
the
you
table.
do the scrape, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Or
So
wipes,
yeah, the garbage table is my new guest, or the garbage bin is my new guest at the table. Essentially. So yeah, that's weird.
And so who's watching
Yeah.
and
Everybody.
judging you?
Everybody.
Oh, everybody's just watching.
Yeah, my kids are like, "What are you doing?" And I say, "Get in the garbage." Yeah, they're like, "Is that the garbage?" No, it's my friend.
Gotta feed the garbage can.
I honestly don't mind this idea though.
No, I don't mind
Like,
that at all.
because there is like
Saves-
you gotta
saves
take
time.
you gotta take all the plates over to whatever the counter. Then you gotta open the garbage can, do all that. Then they gotta make their way, maybe to the sink or to the dishwasher. But you're just bringing the garbage can. That's-
My only problem with it, Tess, is that your girls should be doing it.
Yeah. I mean, they're almost there, JD. They're
Get them
teeny
there.
and tiny.
Get
Like,
them
you got a
there.
big garbage can.
Yeah,
You shouldn't be lifting a finger.
Yeah.
You just sit. That's what kids. What's the point of having kids if they don't
I
clear
hate
the
men.
table? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you controlling your kids is an admiration for me. But my kids are a little teeny and tiny. They're still, they're not even in school. One is in school anyway. So one day
You'll get there.
One day, but everybody just dumps their disposals in the sink now. In the United States of America, in the garbage disposal.
Disposal.
That's which is good, I guess. Other than fingers getting in there, it's good. But yeah.
The incinerator.
Incinerator.
I love the name of a
Yeah.
garbage disposal head. That's
Right?
cool.
They're legal in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, no one has them.
It's really strange.
Gotta
know
keep the
that.
pipes clean out
Yeah.
there. Trey.
I feel a lot of pressure anytime I'm shooting around in the driveway and somebody walks by with their dog. I'm like,
Okay,
I gotta
yeah.
make
Gotta
this
hit
one.
this, yeah.
Gotta make this one. But it's paid off because Laura texted me one day. She's like, the construction crews across the street came up to me and asked me which team you play for.
You were on fire that day, I guess.
I was hitting. I was lacing it, buddy. 50 shots in less than 10 minutes. That's a good shooting day for me.
It's great.
I love the idea of a professional athlete that they thought you were having just like your little rinky-dinky net, sort of.
On like a massive slant.
Yeah. It's great. That's how
always
good you
tall.
are.
Yeah,
That's how good you
That's
are.
how good he is. Yep.
Guys, speaking of shooting a basketball,
Oh.
there was a dude who flew 700 miles to Indianapolis with only his basketball, I think,
Yep.
to play on a court. We talked about it on the show. It's been set up in the airport, in Indy Airport, to celebrate All-Star Weekend next month. Here's the thing. The hardwood is actually just a massive sticker. The hoops are cordoned off, and the rims are covered with plastic lids.
This is brutal.
That sucks.
The plastic lids was like,
I mean,
oh,
at
you
first
bastard.
the sticker, I was like, what? It's
Yeah.
not a real court? But then the plastic rims on yeah, that's insane.
It's brutal.
That's a nice sticker, though. It looked like
It looked
It looked
good.
real.
Very real.
Like, yeah, it looked very good. Anyway, to add insult to injury, his return flight was canceled, and he had to stay overnight with the unplayable court. And just a basketball. Can you imagine? Guys, when's a time you were epically thwarted, Skeets?
Yeah, I struggled with this one as well, but in October I ran a half marathon in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I didn't have great training. I sort of wasn't really committed to it, and it was my own fault. And I was running with my buddy Jared, who crushed it. Like, he had an awesome race. But what happened was I forgot my headphones.
Oof.
And I ran this half marathon with no headphones. And I'm thinking, I can do that. Yeah, no problem, whatever. I'm so fucking loud when I run that I was getting annoyed with myself. I'm like, I hate myself.
Like grunting and
I just,
panting?
I breathe loud.
Yeah.
And it's so loud. And I'm like, I hated all 90 plus minutes of this run. I was so angry on this run. I was not having fun. The weather was a little crappy. I wasn't in great shape, so I wasn't doing any good time or anything. It was like just the brutal 90 minutes of it's horrible. So never again, at least when I have headphones in, I can't hear myself. Because you can't hear really your breathing that loud.
Hey, what do you normally have on the headphones? Just a guy breathing.
Yeah.
a guy breathing.
Somebody else breathing.
Yeah.
And where I go, wow, this guy's really struggling. I'm killing him. But it was horrible, man. So never again. Lesson learned. I'm not even trying it. I know some people can do it. They can get out there in nature and run for miles without anything. I get it, but not for me. I'm just too loud. Nature scurries when I'm out there, man. You hear me coming.
I sometimes can't go from one room to the other without putting my headphones on and just sticking something
Do you
on.
do this thing? I listen to a ton of podcasts, obviously,
Yeah.
doing chores or whatever. And I notice sometimes a podcast will end and I'll just keep my AirPods in my ears. Does anybody else do this?
Yeah.
And then 2 hours later, I'm like, I haven't been listening to anything. But I've just been in my ears.
Just got plugs in.
They start to feel comfortable, I guess, or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't hear myself breathe.
Totally.
Yeah.
Tassie?
Just wearing earbuds. It happens to me
Yeah.
too. It is weird. Danielle found them in the shower the other day, and she said, "Why are your earbuds in the shower?"
Wow.
I said, "Well, I was busy, so I took them off in the shower." Actually, they fell out because I was stretching in the shower. But anyways, I had them on for days. Well, really.
Do you allow water in the shower?
No, absolutely not. I don't wash in the shower.
He goes over to the garbage can.
Right.
Just dust myself
Dusts
up.
himself up.
Feels good. I haven't been wet in years. Thwarting.
Yeah, when was the last time you were epically thwarted?
When you put the word thwart in your question, JD, I got excited. I love the word
What a
thwart.
word.
It's a great word.
It is good. Kevin Love likes to thwart things on the court. He's good at thwarting.
Court thwarter.
Court thwarter. I didn't have a good answer, honestly, when I broke my leg rounding third base, and my leg got thwarted in the ground, essentially. And I tried to get back up on said leg. It was thwarted a second time. Couldn't step on it for a long time. And then my man Shamez said, get on your back, let's see what you did. And I tried again, thwarted. I tried to sort of get on my back. Shamez, what are you doing? I said, I had a broken leg. He thought, just like the doctor thought, oh, injured ankle, injured knee.
Yeah.
No, Shamez. It's a good name, though. Thwart.
Yeah.
Good word, Shamez.
Shamez.
Also a good word. Third thing, gotta say here. No, I got nothing. Anyways, broke my leg. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that is a thwart for
That was
sure.
a thwart, yep.
Trey.
Yeah, I went out to check something in the shed the other night, and when I came back, I'd locked myself out of a sliding door. So I texted Lauren, I'm like,
Whoa.
let me in, you hater. Thought she was like, didn't know I went outside.
Yeah.
Closed the door, locked it. She's like, I've been in the bedroom the entire time. I was like, okay, so did the girls lock the door?
Yeah.
No, she was reading to the girls. So she's like, is there somebody in the house? I was like,
Whoa. Ew.
maybe, but probably not.
No.
I still don't get it. I don't have any idea how I locked myself out. It doesn't make any sense.
interesting.
Our sliding door is like impossible to close. Very hard to lock. It's still a mystery to me.
Yams. What about yams?
She's too old now to reach
Too
up
old,
and
too
also
small,
very
yeah.
small.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been like trying to replicate it, like leave the door
Yeah,
barely
yeah.
unlocked
It's
and then
somehow-
close it really hard and see if it locks me.
You can't do it.
It's a mystery.
Wow.
There might be somebody in my house.
Now, you said you went out to the shed.
I was checking stuff.
I have an idea what you were doing in the
Yeah,
shed.
there was some stuff out
Is
there.
it possible the door was actually never locked?
No, I had to be. No, I walked all the way around, came in through the garage, even checked the garage. I'm like, did I leave through the garage and I forgot? I don't think so. It's still a mystery, man. I don't get it.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go check on my lawnmower.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah, the grass.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, guys, last one. The NBA draft, get excited, might be moving from a one-evening affair to a 2-day extravaganza. Is this wanted? Is this necessary? Is this even advisable? I guess we're going to find out. Guys, what's a one-day event that actually warrants being stretched over 2 days, Skeets?
I don't think this is a unique answer. Super Bowl Sunday should be stretched, and everybody should be given the Monday off. You know, the game starts late. Everybody's getting together with people. Whether you're a football fan or not, you watch this thing. To watch the commercials, to watch Usher at halftime.
Sure.
It's a big deal. Game goes sort of late, and, people are obviously putting some pops away, having fun. Just give everybody the Monday off.
National holiday.
A sports holiday. Isn't that the most American thing of all time?
Sports holiday. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They gotta do it.
Day off for sports.
So just give us the Monday. And I just wanted to note here, we do now know, because Usher is the halftime performance, which I had forgotten. That should be good.
Yeah.
Reba McEntire, Post Malone, and Andra Day will perform during the pregame festivities. So
Okay.
Reba's got the anthem, Post Malone's got America the Beautiful, and Day has Lift Every Voice and Sing. That's your 1, 2, 3 there.
It's beautiful.
So
It's gonna be great.
yeah, get a little bit of everything in that mix.
Yeah,
Like triple anthems.
Yeah.
totally.
I mean, they start this pregame stuff like
Yeah, that's a good
3
point.
hours.
A lot of
earlier.
time to perform.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is a national. It feels like a national holiday.
Yeah,
in all honesty.
Yeah.
And it does go late.
It does.
I just read these guys are suing Madonna for going on too late. Do you read this?
Yeah, I did.
What? During
Like
the Super Bowl?
No.
Oh.
Just she had a concert, I guess, at MSG.
Oh.
She was supposed to go on at 8:30. She went on at 10:45, and they're like,
that's insane.
"That's insane."
That's insane.
And they're like, "We had to work the next day, so we're suing Madonna." Anyway, that was interesting.
Wow.
What are they suing her for, though?
Being late,
Yeah, I know, but how much?
days of work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just ask for your refund back and move on.
You're saying people that went to the concert.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
They're
I thought
like-
for a second you were talking about people that work at Madison Square Garden or something.
No.
Yeah.
Madonna sued.
Just a couple of dudes going, "This is ridiculous.
I'm
I'm
gonna
suing."
sue her.
That's crazy.
That's good
I
stuff.
mean, yeah, you could probably get your money back. You're right. I'm sure.
Could you though? I mean,
I'm sure you
Complaining,
could.
yeah.
If you said we're going to sue you, I think they would maybe wisely, okay, we'll just give you your ticket.
okay, yeah, that's fair. It's not like you can go back to the box office at 10:30 when she still hasn't gone on and be like,
Yeah.
"I want my money back."
That's like the Lauryn Hill, right? She is notorious for showing up
There.
hours.
so
I would be so angry.
You're like, oh, that's
especially
probably
at
just
our
another
age.
10 minutes. Probably another 10 minutes. Watch a full movie.
I mean, you'd almost be disappointed if it's Lauryn Hill if she's on time. That'd be weird. They'd be like, "Are you okay?"
I hope Usher starts on time at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
He was starting his residency in Las Vegas like an hour and a half late.
Really?
There was just a DJ just killing it for an hour and a half. He wasn't on. Usher wasn't on.
Wow.
Usher was getting his roller skates on, who did a great job roller skating. But maybe it will be in February because he is a great roller skater.
They got everything down to the second.
No,
for
they do.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Tassie, what's something that should be 2 days? It's over.
Yeah, sticking with similar, just an American day that everybody celebrates already. Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Is already taken off. Everybody takes off a week already.
Yeah.
And Friday is known as Native American Heritage Day. It should be Indigenous Americans Day that we all celebrate. Just take it off. Well, let's because literally people are either shopping anyway, or they have a week off work. But we just kind of know Thursday is Thanksgiving. So
Wait, it's not already a holiday? The Friday?
no,
I
it's
don't
not a holiday.
think it's technically.
I mean, it is Native American Heritage Day, but it's just
I thought it was
it's just
It's
a
not like
day.
a federal holiday.
It's not a federal
But a lot of people do. that.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody gets it off.
An
Almost.
unofficial holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, make it a holiday already.
Yeah, make it a week off.
Yeah, I agree.
That's similar to my answer. I think every holiday should get the Thanksgiving treatment where it's like you have holiday day and then everybody agrees day after we're chilling.
Yeah.
Like Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate Boxing Day in America. Christmas, you do your family stuff. Next day, you're chilling. Just
Yeah.
add the chill day because sometimes the holiday of it can be a stressful part. You got a lot
Absolutely.
going on. You don't
need
get
a
to
holiday
relax.
from your holiday.
So true.
Yep.
So true.
Yeah, Canadians know. Boxing Day is good right after Christmas.
Yeah. Well, why don't we just make Mondays a holiday after every Sunday?
Yeah.
Celebrate the weekend. It's a great weekend
let's
we
do
had.
it.
Let's relax.
Everybody hates Monday anyway.
4-day work week. We can do it. Come on.
Let's do it.
All right, that's rapid fire. Not so rapid, but it was fire for sure. Hopefully this was a classic. You tell us. Leave your boys a 5-star rating and review. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Let's hear all your answers to the midseason report. Biggest surprises, disappointments, breakout players, most intriguing second half storylines. Drop them in the YouTube comments or tweet at us at NoDunkSync. We'll be back on Monday. Some of us will. TK headed home to Chicago. I was struggling to figure out where you were from for a second.
yes,
I should
I
have just
know.
looked at you. Yeah. Your dad's retirement party, I guess.
Oh, Big Steve-O retiring. Monday is the party. Going in Saturday, going to a Bulls game.
Okay.
Yes.
Against the Grizzlies.
So hold on. Monday's the party. Are you're extending it into a holiday or the Tuesday?
Exactly right. I'm making it a 4-day weekend.
Look at you smart bugger. All right, so no TK on Monday, but Tass and I will be here to do NBA winners and losers of the weekend. So let's hear your suggestions all weekend long. Until then, Clipper Bros. Oh, sorry, I forgot one thing. Sorry, JD. I told you to put this in here too. We're gonna jump on playback later today. A little happy hour, happy anniversary hang. So if you want to come over and hang out on playback around 3:15 or so Eastern time, that link is in the show notes. Just join our playback room so you know when the boys go live. But yeah, we'll just kick it. Talk to you guys in the chat there for an hour or so. Okay, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, thwart is a good word unless you use it in the form that Leo Goman did here in the stream team. It did make me laugh. genital thwarts. Because I was thinking
Had a lot of those
awards.
in the back old days. Am I right? Am I right?
Brace the day, people.